I'm going to advise you to read the first Old Testament reading this week carefully and closely, and then the rest of the week to skim over it quickly. We start the week with the conclusion of the second book of Kings, and then read the first 18 chapters of 1 Chronicles. And let me start at the end. 1st and 2nd Chronicles are later works considered wisdom literature and not prophetic by the rabbis. They essentially tell the story of 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings over again, but from a different point of view. In 1st and 2nd Chronicles, the writer is less concerned with politics and more concerned with worship, telling the story from the point of view of the priesthood. And to lay the groundwork for the story, the first 9 chapters of 1st Chronicles are genealogy. Yikes. And then the chapters that follow recap what you and I have recently read: the rise of King David, God's covenant with David, and David's establishing himself and the Ark of God in Jerusalem. You need not give any of this much of your time. Now, here's something worth noting. If we were reading these books in the order in which they fall in the Hebrew Bible, the Jewish Bible that is, 1st Chronicles would not come right after 2nd Kings. After 2nd Kings, we would read the prophet Isaiah. 1st and 2nd Chronicles are the last books in the Hebrew Bible. Now to Monday's reading. 2 Kings 23, 24, and 25. This closes the story of the kingdom of Judah. We begin with a bright, shining moment, the Reformation under King Josiah, who sought to undo all the harm his father Manasseh had done. He restored the temple, purified worship, destroyed centers of idolatry, including the remnants of the apostate temple at Bethel, and he reinstituted the keeping of the Passover. He tried his best, but the storyteller records sadly that it was not enough. The Lord was determined to destroy Judah, but as I told you last week, would not do so during Josiah's lifetime. Josiah's death is a sad note as well. He was only 39 when he was killed. The book says that he went to Megiddo to meet the Pharaoh of Egypt, so presumably Josiah went there to meet with his boss, the Pharaoh, because Judah was a client state of Egypt at the time. It's a puzzle why he was killed. It says the Pharaoh killed him, but why? Perhaps that he went out to battle against the Pharaoh there, trying to establish independence. Who knows? Either way, Megiddo is remembered as the place where the last good king of Judah was killed. And in the book of the Revelation of John, the great climactic battle takes place at Armageddon, that is, the hill of Megiddo. After Josiah's death, the story hastens to its close. Josiah's son reigns for 3 months, then he's imprisoned by the Pharaoh and replaced by his brother. Then Nebuchadnezzar leads the Babylonians in their rise to power, and Judah becomes subject to them, and after rebelling, is overrun. The temple is destroyed. The walls of Jerusalem are torn down. As much as 10% of the population is taken to Babylon in exile. The reign of the house of David, after 400 years, comes to an end. This disaster shapes the entire perspective of the people of Judah as they look back on it. One event that sounds all too familiar to us: the Babylonians appoint a local man as governor, Gedaliah, and he urges the people to live peacefully as subjects of Babylon. But in the minds of many nationalists, he's a collaborator, so he's assassinated. And it all ends with one gentle, positive note. After Nebuchadnezzar's death, his son Evil-Merodach frees King Jehoiakim of Judah from prison and makes him a member of his court. And so ends the kingdom of Judah, the first attempt to create the kingdom of God on earth, an attempt that the storyteller wants us to understand has failed.